Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm diving into the real challenges international students face, at private colleges in Canada. If you're dreaming of studying in Canada, hoping to build a future here, or just curious about the journey, grab a cozy drink, get comfy, and let's talk about what's really going on, behind the glossy brochures. Trust me, you want to stick around till the end for some heartfelt advice that could save you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. Let's picture this. You are an international student full of hope, of landing in Canada for what? You think is a world-class education and a clear path to your permanent residency. Private colleges seem like the perfect choice. Accessible programs, promises of job in fields like healthcare, and a quicker start to your Canadian dream. But here's the thing. There are some hidden hurdles, that nobody tells you about. They don't tell you about these things up front. I'm going to walk you through these challenges with real stories, and share tips to help you make the best choices. Let's get started, my guys. First up, let's talk about the postgraduate work permit, like we call PGWP. It's a golden ticket for international students, as you know, It lets you work for any employer in Canada for up to 3 years after graduation, giving you the experience you need to apply for permanent residency. Amazing, right? But here's the catch. Private college programs do not qualify for it. And without PGWP, you're stuck with a closed work permit, which ties you to one employer, no flexibility, no exploring better jobs, and a much tougher road to PR. Let me tell you about someone, Her story is real. She studied to become a continuing care assistant at a private college because she heard CCAs are in high demand. She landed a job, which was great, but her closed work permit meant she couldn't switch employers. When a better opportunity came up, she had to say no. That's lack of freedom, didn't just limit her career, it's made it harder to build the diverse experience she needed for permanent residence. Programs like the Canadian Experience Class. It's like running a race with one hand tied behind your back. Next, let's talk about money because let's be honest, it's a big deal. Canada expects international students, to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that they can support themselves and their families. And that's tied to something called the low income cutoff, or the LICO. For 2025, a family of 6 needs about $85,000 a year to meet this threshold. Sounds doable, right? Not so fast. Even in a high demand field like a CCA, you might earn from $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and that's nowhere near enough if you're trying to sponsor your family for permanent residence. Sarah faced this exact problem. She was the sole breadwinner, and her income just couldn't cover LICO for her family of 6. It broke her heart to think her dream of bringing in her family together in Canada might slip away. And here is another twist to it all. Spousal work permits. If you're married, and studying at a private college, don't expect your spouse to get an open work permit. Unless you are in a master's or doctoral program. That's a new law as of 2024. For Sarah, this was hard punch, a real hard punch, Her spouse couldn't work legally, so they were stuck relying on her income alone. It's not just about money, it's about the stress, the feeling of being trapped, and the worry that your family's future is on a shaky ground. Then there's the risk of closed work permits. Okay, unlike the PGWP, these permits are tied to one job. If you lose that job, maybe the company downsizes or you make a mistake, you lose your legal right to work. I heard about another international student. Let's call this one J, who went to a private college, okay, and got a closed work permit after graduation. He was doing okay until he lost his job over one workplace misunderstanding, some ethic issues. Okay, suddenly he was jobless with no legal way to work for anyone else. Imagine the panic of trying to figure out your next move while your dreams of staying in Canada hang in the balance. Oh, and let's not forget tuition. Private colleges can charge as much as or even more than public ones, but their credentials often carry less weight. You're shelling out tens of thousands of dollars, expecting a clear path to PR, only to find out your program doesn't qualify for postgraduate work permits or isn't what employers value. Both Sarah and Jay paid big bucks for their programs, and the return on that investment, not what they hoped for. So, how do these challenges affect your shot at permanent residency? In a big way, closed work permits limit your ability to gain the skilled work experience needed for programs like the Canadian Experience Class or the provincial nominee programs. Low income makes it tough to sponsor your family. And if your spouse can't work, you are missing out on building a stronger, and more integrated life in Canada. Something immigration officers look at closely, okay? It's trying put the piece together like a puzzle with half of the pieces missing. But don't lose hope, just yet. I've got some practical tips to help you navigate this situation. And I'm sharing them with all the care, okay, I'd give to a friend. First, always check with your program. Check if it's PGWP eligible before you enroll. Use the Immigration Canada website, okay, or the classification on instructional programs database. Second, lean toward public colleges or universities if you can. They are more likely to offer programs that qualify for PGWP, and their degrees carry more clout with employers. Okay? Do the math on LICO. If you've got a big family, make sure your career path and maybe your spouses can get you close to the income mark for your family composition. Understand the limits of closed work permits. They are risky, so explore other options like provincial nominee programs, okay, if PGWP isn't on the table. And please don't just trust educational all these agents who might just push you towards a program for their commission's sake. Talk to a licensed immigration consultant or even a lawyer to map out your study and PR plan. If you've got dependents, think about programs at public institutions or even master's programs to unlock spousal work permits. Some provinces like those in Atlantic Canada have flexible immigration streams that might help. The key is planning ahead with your eyes wide open. So my people, there you have it. The real scope on studying at private colleges in Canada. It's not all doom and gloom, but it's a journey that needs careful thoughts. Stories like Sarah's and Jay's remind us that the Canadian dream is possible, but it takes research, strategy, and a bit of grit. If this video hits home for you, drop a comment below, share your story, or ask a question, and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe as usual, and hit that bell as you never miss a tip to make a Canadian journey smoother. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay hopeful, stay smart, and take care of yourself. Bye.